Representative Knight, are you with us?
Always.
Okay. So you want to start with 5087?
Sure.
Okay. House Bill 5087, sponsored by Representative Knight. It's an act relating to state affairs and government corrections department. Requires the executive branch of the Department of Corrections to report its findings and recommendations regarding the justice reinvestment policies of the Department of Corrections to the legislature on or before April 1 of each year. So with that, I go to Representative Knight.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. I put this bill in last year and it really didn't see the light of day because the pandemic hit. The point here is a few years back, we passed a package of bills that were part of a justice reinvestment reform initiative, which was to change some ways we do criminal justice in the state of Rhode Island, with the idea that we would save some money, and the final step of justice reinvestment is to plow that money back into rehabilitation rather than incarceration. But we can't take that final step unless we know how we're doing, and we don't really have a mechanism to track how those changes that we made a few years back are playing out right now. There's not a great place that is a clearinghouse for all that data, but the Department of Corrections is probably the most logical place to start. So this bill would ask them to, as best they can, present to the General Assembly every year a report on how we're doing on justice reinvestment. And I'll just note that they sent in a letter for their testimony on this bill, where they gave kind of a mini report, which is more information so now, because of that letter, I have more information, or we have more information now than we did before tonight's hearing about justice reinvestment, and which just proves my point. We need to recognize that in state government, if you cannot measure it, if you don't measure it, you can't manage it, and that's what this bill is designed to do.
Thank you, Representative Knight. Any questions from members of the committee? Oh, Doc.
Representative Knight. Can you hear me?
Hi, Chair.
How
Yep,
are you, Representative Knight? I don't necessarily have a problem with this, but I've got to ask the obvious question. In the explanation of this bill, this act would require the executive branch or the Department of Corrections to report its findings and recommendations regarding the justice reinvestment policies or the Department of Corrections. I assume that's an of the Department of Corrections.
Well, I think that's a drafting typo.
Okay.
Frankly, I don't
Because
think we
if
need
not,
that there.
if not, because it got me a little confused. So that's of the Department of Corrections. Okay. That's it.
Okay, any other questions? I just want to say for the record that the ACLU supports this bill, and so does the Rhode Island Public Defender's Office. So thank you, Representative Knight, but stay on the line.